from the 37th number of Psalm. We're going to look at the 23rd verse. Our focal point this morning is Psalm 37:23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Let me say that again. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Topic this morning, a few good men. Before I go any further, allow me to say that by saying a few good men, I am not excluding women. I'm not taking women out of the fold. God wants some good women too. But I want to be an encouragement today to men, to everyone, but especially to men, to get involved with God. Many of us are familiar with the 37th Psalm, which is full of marching orders, exhortations, and mission objectives for our Christian journey. 37th number of Psalm begins saying, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. And he shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. Rest in the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger, and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be, yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth his teeth upon him. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent the bow to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their swords shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the many riches of the wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke, they shall consume away. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as he blessed, of him shall inherit the earth. For as such as be blessed, of him shall inherit the earth. Let me say it again. For such as be blessed, of him shall inherit the earth. And they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man or woman are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way, or their way. A few good men or women. That's what God's looking for. In 1979, Captain William Jones of the Marines in the Providence, which was a 28-gun frigate, it was in Boston. It was docked in Boston. He advertised in the March 20th, 1779 Providence Gazette, the need for a few good men. That advertisement gave the Marine Corps a recruiting slogan that it would be using for over 200 years later. A few good men. You know, the U.S. Marine Corps operates on three basic tenets. The first of which is honor. In the Marine literature that they are trained by, it says, and I quote, "Honor guides Marines to exemplify the ultimate in ethical and moral behavior. Never lie, never cheat or steal. Abide by an uncompromising code of integrity. Respect human dignity and respect others. Honor causes Marines to act responsibly, to fulfill our obligations, and to hold ourselves and others accountable for every action," end quote. For the Christian, this means we walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the evil days are here. That's Ephesians 5:15-16. For the Christian, honor means whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things of good report, we do them. Or as Reverend Jeremiah Wright Jr. taught us, if it ain't nice, if it ain't true, and it ain't necessary, don't say it. We are steadfast as Christians, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. We follow peace with all mankind, for we know without holiness no man shall see God. And for that reason, we must examine ourselves every day to whether we be in the faith. Accountability starts with self. The second tenet that the Marines operate under is courage. Again, quoting their literature, courage is the physical strength ingrained in Marines. It carries us through the challenges of combat and aids in overcoming fear. It is the inner strength that enables us to do what is right, to adhere to a higher standard of personal conduct, and to make tough decisions under stress pressure. End quote. You see, the Marines, in fact, all branches of the military go through basic training to prepare them for the road ahead. Later on, everyone goes through A school or Ascension school. That's where you receive occupational specific training. And any mission in the military that an enlisted person may go on has some sort of training prior to it. In other words, the military is trained, retrained, and continuously trained to be able to face obstacles that may arise. They are trained to the point where if something should arise that they were not prepared for, they know how to improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is to say, they are trained to operate without fear, having faith that they can and will overcome. So it ought to be with us. For one cannot give their hand to the preacher, their heart to God, and their body to the baptismal, and think that is all there is. I recall being in basic training at United States Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May, New Jersey. Whenever we were not training or preparing for training, we were expected to be studying the helmsman. The helmsman is the Coast Guard Bible, if you will. We as Christians have to always study our helmsman when we are not in training or preparing for training. We need to always be studying what to do, when to do, and how to do. Not only that, but we must engage ourselves in training. We cannot just expect to get it on Sunday service. We have to have personal study time, a personal prayer life. We've got to go to corporate Bible study. We've got to actively participate in ministry and ministry training, and we have got to get formal training in our Christian occupation. That is the only way we will be able to function on faith and not be dysfunctional based on our fear. Without training, you will give up because you don't know that 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 says, we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. My brothers and sisters, we are soldiers in God's army. And I want you to know we can't give up because we are on the winning side. That third tenet. I'm almost out of here. Commitment. The Marine Corps literature says commitment is the spirit of determination and dedication found in Marines. It leads to the highest order of discipline for individuals and units. It is the ingredient that enables constant dedication to corps and country. It inspires the unrelenting determination to achieve victory in every endeavor. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again in the context of this principle of commitment. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. The NIV version of Psalm 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. My brothers and sisters, when we commit ourselves to the Lord, a fire starts deep down inside us that will cause us to walk on when we feel weak, run on when we feel tired, and fight when there's no fight left in us. It is that spirit of commitment that enables the Spirit of God in us to do this thing. For greater is he that is within us than he that is in the world. It is that spirit of commitment that gives us the victory. For our victory is not come by power nor by might, but by his Spirit. Because we are committed to him, he is committed to us. The steps of a good man or woman are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. I could end this sermon by quoting part of Psalm 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. I can segue from there to Psalm 109, 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Transitioning from there to Psalm 119, 133. Order my steps in thy word, and let not any iniquity have dominion over me. But I won't end it that way. I could end this sermon talking about how it does a father proud to see a child walking in his footsteps, but I won't. I could end this sermon talking about how it does a father proud to see his child walking as he taught them to walk, but I won't. I could end this message talking about my son Colin, talking about how happy I was when he took his first steps, talking about how it felt to have him walk with me at Trinity United Church of Christ as I did security. Talking about seeing him imitate preachers as a toddler. I could talk about how he wanted to follow my footsteps, point that he said, one day, when I'm old enough, I'm going to be the head of security. Oh, I could talk about how it did me proud for Simeon to be one of his choices for high school. Top choices at that. Or I could talk about how I cried when he wanted to be saved at the age of 8. Talking about the joy I get from knowing and hearing that he is just like me. But I won't. I could end this message telling you about marching orders and a will. Well, you see, when I was in training in the Coast Guard, Cape May, New Jersey, one day we were out marching. Our lead company commander, Chief Michael Harding, had us marching. We were marching all over the place. He's calling cadence. If you could just picture in your mind for a moment, Chief Harding. Picture a slender version of Sergeant Slaughter from the WWF. He had the facial features. He wore the aviator sunglasses. He had the Smokey the Bear hat. He had that groveling voice of Sergeant Slaughter. And he's calling cadence, left, right, or left, right, you right or left. And he's calling cadence and we're marching. As we're marching, we start to see sand up ahead. We're marching toward the Cape. We got on the beach, we're marching in the sand, and he's still calling cadence. We're still moving forward. Ahead is the Cape. There's water ahead of us. It starts shallow and goes deep, just like any other body of water. And he still has us left, right, oh, left, right, oh, right, oh, left, still marching us forward. Well, just before we entered the water, some of the people stopped because they saw the water ahead. But I was one who kept marching forward until he said stop or called company halt. And of course, you know, if anybody listening or watching been in the military, you know we got reamed. You know we had to do PT behind that. Or as the Coast Guard, we call it IT. Oh, yes, we ate sand for a little while. But that evening, I was told to square his quarters. When I squared his quarters, I went in and he asked me a question. He said, Basey, when we were out there marching this morning, some stopped, and I just want to know, I'm asking everybody that kept going, why did you keep going? I told him, I said, sir, you didn't tell me to stop. Therefore, I did not stop, sir. I explained to him that I'd had an occurrence in high school. Well, you see, in high school, I was in Naval ROTC. And we were marching one day. Lieutenant Commander Zombrowski and Petty Officer Pomalis had us marching. And they're calling cadence. And we were marching through the school. We went up and down the halls on the first floor. We were coming back around to where our classroom is, and they didn't stop us at the classroom. They kept us going, and they had us do a left face. Old Simeon, there was a dock there, because it used to be a warehouse. And we were marching toward the dock, and the dock door was open. And just as we got to that dock, before we got to the end of the dock, some stopped, but I kept marching. Until they stopped us. And we got reamed again. And Lieutenant Commander Zombrowski explained something to us. He said, let me tell you something. If I march you toward the edge of a cliff, you better believe I'm going to put a road right there, or I'm going to have you float on air if I don't stop you. But see, it didn't begin there. I knew to keep going because when I was in the band at D.S. Wentworth Elementary School, we were out there marching one day, and even though I was the drum major, my band director was calling cadence one day. And he had us all marching, and I was with my instrument blending with everybody else. And there's a wall outside of Wentworth, and he marched us up and down the playground. Left face, right face, we did it all. And then he had us headed toward that wall. As we got close to that wall, we all stopped. And he reamed us a new one because we stopped. And in his reaming, he explained to us, if I have you marching toward a wall, you better believe Either I'm going to turn you aside or I'm going to turn you around. If I don't do those things, I'll make a way for you to go through that wall. If I don't make a way to go through, I'll move the wall. And if I don't move the wall, I'll make a way for you to go over the wall. Oh, my brothers and sisters, the same thing God's saying today. Keep marching until I turn you aside. Keep marching till I turn you around. If something is in your way, I'll move it out of your way or make a way for you to go through. But you just keep on marching as I call cadence. Troubles may come and trials will come. You keep marching till I turn you aside or turn you away. But even if I don't, just know I'll make a way through the valley. I'll be a shelter in the storm. God said, keep on marching. Death may come. Sickness will come your way. Don't let it deter you. Don't let it stop you from marching. Keep going as I call cadence, because I'll make a way for you to get through it. No matter what happens, no matter what comes, troubles, heartaches, and pains, they go come, but I'll see you through. You have to cry sometime, but I'll get you through it. God says it'll get cold sometime out on that battlefield, but I'll warm you. Just keep on marching. It'll get hot sometime, but I'll cool you. Just keep on marching. You'll be in battle. The enemy will be firing all they can at you. Just keep on marching. If I don't turn you aside, I'll turn you around. If I don't turn you around, I'll make a way through the battle. Just keep marching and keep fighting. Just follow my cadence and you will make it to the end. Have honor, have commitment. Yes, that's the word for the day. Because God wants a few good men and a few good women who don't mind being soldiers, who don't mind following cadence, who don't mind having honor, who don't mind being dedicated to the mission, who are committed to Him because God is committed to them. Yes, the steps of a good man or woman are ordered by the Lord, and He delighteth in His way. He, God, will delight in your way. And just like any other parent, when they're happy with what you're doing, they'll give you the world.